What's he saying?
Go ahead. Can you hear me? Just go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Um, I think we're just starting now. It's good to see everyone. Mr. H, how are you?
I'm finding you.
I'm very well, thank you. Okay.
Yo, my village people were out for blood today. I don't my For the first time in history, my computer froze for no reason.
It's all your fault.
For no reason, till now I can't understand or explain what happened.
Your village people, they need sacrifice as
Uh,
often.
uh, hey, good evening, Cheryl. Sorry,
Yeah.
but it's what it is.
Blame.
So you're all welcome. Abby is setting up, so she's going to be joining us today. She's running late from work, so luckily for us, we'll have her grace the show today. Mr. H, welcome back from your hiatus. So how have you been doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right.
Okay, nice to know. Now, I'm happy that you're back. Sexy, happy, fast. So what's going on? The brown hairstyle and the sexy glasses. Oh, the link is actually it's working. Please try again. I think there was a technical difficulty from my own end. So try again. If I try again, it's going to come on. So tell us about the day. How did your day start?
um, well, I went to the office.
No, apart from money making things, or just other things.
Well, maybe that could be something. I went to the office.
Okay.
And, yeah, I was feeling kind of claustrophobic because there's quite a lot of people in the office, and I was just thinking, is it COVID phobia or I don't know. I just felt a bit like, hey, what's happening to me? What's happening to me? And I don't really usually have issues with seeing a lot of people, but I was looking at them,
Hmm.
oh gosh, you guys are too much. Um,
Okay. You're not used to talking to many people, right?
used to
Like,
talk, no, I'm used to talking to many people, but post COVID, things have been a bit kind of different. Like I'm not used to
mm,
seeing a lot of people in the same place. So I usually when I go to the office, it's usually very scanty. People go
oh,
to the office different days, different times, and all of that because my office is very large. And so it was just I was just like,
sorry,
oh,
which office? Is it the daytime office or your private office or your
my
business
data,
office?
my
Your
data.
daytime, okay, okay, I know, okay, okay.
Yeah. So it's no, I don't know what private office you're trying to say, but my daytime office.
Well, we know you anyway. So you're comfortable looking for trouble on Facebook, but you're shy of seeing people.
No, I
You're
am
like,
not now. Okay, let's talk about let's talk about a bit of Facebook, whatever.
that's
Um,
boost.
yeah, I could see the political drama. Some people are saying they want to fight because they want to take things back from the queen or
Uh-huh.
whatever. And some people are like, okay, we are still going to go and sign the condolence. You know
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing anything. Vote your conscience. Be sensible if you still want to get the of Nigeria. So, on
Yeah,
that
but
note, one
I
funny thing I
mean,
wanted to share, though, one funny thing I wanted to share was when the Queen was passed on. When the Queen passed on, I just
mhm.
couldn't. I saw a few of my friends. They were putting all this emoji, crying, and all of that, and I'm like,
Ah,
"Okay, I'm not joking. I thought that something bad, like very terrible, extremely
hmm,
terrible, maybe something
hmm.
has befallen the whole of the world.
Now, our country you do make it suffer you.
No, no. And I said this, and I put that on my post to say that it's not about me not being sensitive. I'm sorry. We have to understand that people have different cultures. In our culture, if you're like that age and you passed on, we celebrate all the good things and everything that you have done whilst you're alive. That's my culture.
Supposedly, yeah,
I can't,
supposedly.
I can't, and that's what because I breed my culture. And so that's what I say every time. I understand that to some other people, it can be very insensitive. Maybe I'm not showing too much remorse and all that. What you see is what you get. But I'm sorry. I chose to celebrate our life.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever she has, their great grandfather, great grandmother, great has done to each other is none of my business. Mine is that I chose not to mourn her. I chose to
Mm.
celebrate her life. I have so many things about her life, her dedication to the service, her dedication
Mm.
to the institution, the way that in spite of the inconvenience that comes with leadership, that she could still stay, kind of stand tall all through it all is something very remarkable. So for
Mm.
me, it's all about celebration of life. It's not mourning. I don't believe that 95-year-old person deserve. It's not like we want to turn her into an artifact. As she's lost her
Mm-hmm.
husband, she still stood tall and all of that. So it's
Yeah.
something to think about, and people has to be very practical. And so that's what um I am saying. On the last part of that, I think I think it was a couple of days ago, somebody sent me a message. It was some political. I wouldn't say shout, I'll say loud because I've learned new English, right? And send me a message at exactly 11:30. I've not spoken to this person before, and it says, "Hi, dear. How
Uh-huh.
was your day?"
Uh-huh.
Fuming like, what the ah, like really? You don't even know me. I don't care your political status. I don't care
Uh-uh.
if you have manners.
Uh-uh. Well, he called you dear now, which means he holds you to a
Yeah,
dear esteem.
and that's what I am saying. You see, there is cultural differences. If you sent me a message, Ron, and you said, "Hello, dear," I will excuse your excesses. You know what?
No, no,
Wait,
I'll say hello, baby. Me call you
you
dear. Why
can
would
say
I call
hello,
you dear?
hello, grandmother, or whatever. I will
I'll say
excuse
hello,
your
baby.
excesses. You know why? Because your
Uh-huh.
culture does not place emphasis on that. But if you are
Mhm.
from my place and and I can't tell somebody that is from my place, an elderly person, I can't say hi dear to that person.
That's true.
And to a younger person, if you want to promote respect is reciprocal, I can't just stop. That I'm talking about my culture. Other people can say, "Oh, it doesn't mean anything." It's not. I'm not civilized, so
Okay.
I want to be in that old school. I want to remain there.
So you've not been indoctrinated yet.
No,
Okay. I see where you're coming from.
no. So I want, if you want me to approach you respectfully, please do come like somebody that has sense. A tiny bit. You have not spoken to me before. You don't know me before. You are not Oyibo. You are not from another whatever tribe. And you're coming to me and saying, "Hi, dear." Dear for what? Don't dare me. Just talk like, "Good day, good morning, how are you?" Be, start use a, how will I put it? A kind of conversation starter that will show that you're kind of formal because the person you're talking to, you don't know that person. So you can't start with an informal language.
It's shocking. It will shock you to know that some people can't write letters like dear sir or dear ma'am, blah 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 blah. They don't know how to start the first paragraph and all that. So
You
if you
know,
are talking to a
why?
generation,
You know why I have a problem with that? So I'm
mhm,
sorry, I'm going to use Candy. If Candy sends to me and say, "Hi dear," I don't have a problem with it. Now you want to wonder why I don't have a problem with it. You want to
mm,
wonder why I don't have a problem with it because I know that based on maybe a lot of the fact that this person is living in Nigeria and you're saying hi dear to me. This person is, I don't know this person before from Adam. So you're trying to be more familiar, putting a lot of familiarity. No, don't do that. You can't. And guess what? They are not going to do that to an Oyinbo person.
of course not.
That's why I'm saying. So let's just put that respect is reciprocal kind of thing. You don't know me. You want to, if it's a guy that wants to fancy me and you want to say something, don't even come. One came to me
Mm.
one day and said to me, "Send me your number."
Ah,
ridiculous these people can be. I've not spoken to this person before. I've not.
And you didn't send the number.
Trust me. Why would I? I didn't even respond for
Well,
2 years.
well, you would have done that to abuse the. And I like what you're saying because it's going to tie into our discussion today. You do realize that.
Sorry, it's just I just wanted to rant a little bit. Sorry.
No, 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 no. What you're saying is going to actually tie into our discussion today. Like, really.
Somebody will be looking at me and wondering, what's this having so
No,
controversial?
no, this for everybody that just tuning in for the first time. This is our lovely, delectable, sexy Abby, the potential girlfriend of
Candy, this eye that you're bringing on. By the way, I love the color of your hair.
No, Candy knows what
Thanks.
she's expecting today. Candy knows what she's expecting today. Don't worry, Candy. I'll get to you shortly. Mr. H, Mr. H. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
hello guys.
How's your day been like? What have you been up to?
Everything's fine, no problems.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you for the short.
Don't worry.
No, leave him. The short introduction is over. So our beautiful, virtuous, slaying.
I need to record this voice, virtuous.
put together and non-existent feminist movement.
Oh my God.
Cheerleader.
What's up, Ron?
How
are
have you been?
I'm pretty good. Pretty good.
You know, I'm stalking your family on Facebook because I'm trying to see if I can learn more things from the way you coordinate and organize your family in a very modern slash traditional and holistic way. You know, there's a lot to learn from Candy if you follow Candy on Sawdust and Lipstick on Instagram, or you follow her Candy Brown on Facebook. There's so much to learn. In fact, I'm even thinking you should start a forum where you teach young women how to be like you.
To be like me.
You should do a master class of how to be a good wife like Candy.
My God. Oh my goodness.
The Black Society.
Ron, you're ruining my
reputation. No, that's
reputation
before the book. That's before. No, don't mind those people. I can block them. They don't need to listen to our. I know those people will be angry with you. I get it. I know how the coven works. So don't worry. I get it. So, but you need to start a master class. Then maybe write a bestseller book. I know you sell. Yeah. Well, okay. So how has your day been?
Pretty good. I didn't send anyone to the hospital today, so that's a good day.
Wow.
So yeah, but no, I can't complain. Just doing what I do, you know. Yeah. Decorating for Halloween.
Is that what you do? Why did you say the main things you do? You're shifting from the main things you do.
I do. That'll get his attention. What the heck?
Okay, I don't want to put so much pressure on Candy, so I'll let her slide for now.
Halloween.
No, I promised I've never actually decorated for Halloween before, but Kennedy has been asking me for years, and this year I promised her, and you know I gotta keep my promise. So it's just
reputation has to go up, isn't it?
No, but you see, listen, Happy Fast, everybody cannot be perfect, you know. There's a little bit of tweaking to be done with Candy to remove these satanic elements from the celebration. You take the evil
satanic
Halloween.
So you take it. What's satanic?
What's satanic?
Yeah.
So today's topic is raising your children in
these modern
times. In these modern times, can I play the tape?
Yeah.
Can I play the tape now? Okay. So that we kick off the conversation with what we're about to watch is very disturbing to African parents. Viewers' discretion is advised. If you're an African parent, or if you're a traditional parent, sorry. What did you call it again, Abby? You said if you're a non-indoctrinated parent, sorry. Yeah, I think that's the right thing.
I don't remember saying that.
Yeah, well, I just made it up.
Children, Madam, what's happening?
What happened? I just did because since they ignore me, they go, they come back. You understand? So this Sunday, he just come. When passport by the way, you just come. I dey eat in the afternoon. As usual, I call and say, come up to do mass. You don't come. I leave them. I finish our prayer. The mass what they do. So he can't come. He need my P21. He need my my passport. He need my. He just needs some few things. I know even talk. I know even answer. You understand?
Baby, one want to talk to you.
You understand?
Can you stop right now?
Baby, come. Baby, come.
Don't go there.
Baby,
Don't go there.
Baby, come. Leave
No, I don't come. What's that
on.
something?
Come by yourself. Leave on.
Don't go there, may not go
Leave on.
enjoy yourself.
Leave
Not
on.
go there because broken things they are not good there.
Leave on.
You understand? So when he can't come my room, say make I give him. I don't know I don't give him. He can't go carry my stuff for my room. They begin to look. What did you want there for? P21. What do you want use P21 for? He said he want to apply for his school thing for what? For UCD. Says UCD. What do you want use? You don't need your duty for your. I don't even answer him. He can't come for room. All them say make I give him the passport. You understand? So when I come tell him say, you know what? Call your dad. Your dad, your passport is already expired. Your dad, call your dad. Because if Papa say make me and I no go physically, I need to make I tell him make he call him. I come and say call your dad. He can't say if I don't give him must. I can't go in the room because I know what that door where they take my things. Go upstairs, go see how he scatter my things. He can't carry the bag where they put documents. They look for it. I say, why will you take my stuff without asking me? He said, why are they ignorant since? Are they ignorant since? Are they ignorant since? So now you go talk myself from there. Say I must give him. Now your own.
Did I say that?
Now you own. I just ignore. I can't say I leave until you go come. You understand?
Why did you guys say?
Oh, they said they're coming.
Guys, are you following? Is it clear enough?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I'm not really sure I understand what she's saying, but
I'll translate it for you in English.
Go for English.
What do you want use? You don't need your dad. Call your dad because if Papa say make me and I no go physically, I need to make I tell him make he call him. I come and say call your dad. He can't say if I don't give him must. I can't go in the room because I know what that door where they take my things. Go upstairs, go see how he scatter my things. He can't carry the bag where they put documents. They look for it. I say, why will you take my stuff without asking me? He said, why are they ignorant since? Are they ignorant since? Are they ignorant since? So now you go talk myself from there. Say I must give him. Now your own.
Did I say that?
Now you own. I just ignore. I can't say make I leave until you go come. You understand?
Why did you guys say?
Oh, they said they're coming.
Children, stop now. Children, stop.
Make him finish what they do. Leave him. He don't do the worst. So leave him make continue. The guy can't come. The only guy can't come. So me and I come. The guy sees my car key. Sees my phone. For waiting. I don't say give me my phone. Now they will come. They say if I can't. Me and I come. They drive the thing. I can't collect my car key. Collect my phone for him. Now there I can't begin to destroy the things, they scatter the things. Say I must give her. If I don't give her, now there I can't scatter one. Not be your own.
Is that why you did it?
You understand? So when daddy come finish,
all these things that you are hold on.
I told you.
That's why I came here.
Break stuff.
That's why I came here. That's why I came here for you to come and talk to me.
Break stuff. So now
All these things that you are breaking now. Okay, will you come and talk to me? Come and talk to me. Come and talk to me.
Starting with the screen or
don't make it go on. He said no one talk.
G with this brush here. G.
Okay, come and talk to me. Yeah.
There's videos of that.
Alright. Okay, yeah. So when you come. Come and talk to me. Come and talk to me. You come and talk to me. No. Julia, don't do that. See. Come. Julia, come. I promise you, come. I promise you something. I promise you something. Come on.
Leave her now. Make you not go hurt yourself. I beg, call your husband, make you leave her. You don't do the worst. You don't do the worst. Which one you want to do? What do you want to do? You want to smash my phone?
Smash the TV down.
You want to smash my
You know I love you. Everybody don't love you.
No. Can you
No,
talk to me?
you know I love you. You know that, right?
I've been saying this for so
You
long.
know I love you. You know that, right? No,
No, what have you been saying for so long?
Don't touch the TV, man.
Sean, bring my car key. Where's my car key?
yeah, I know. Oh, Jesus.
What's with that one, my love?
The mirror. The mirror.
No, don't.
Should I-
Don't, because that one I will not let you do
Don't,
that.
should I-
I'm not letting you. Go and get my car key now.
I don't know where that is. I'm guessing that
It's upstairs somewhere.
Check, the camera we don't get mine. The camera we don't get my fingers very young hours. The camera we don't get. The camera this house one day. The fingers very young hours one day. The camera we don't get. They come up with the house.
I don't know. Daddy tell us make you look for where you go. Say Daddy know the thing go come out.
Daddy come today.
They don't come now. They don't go. He won't come down because I tell us when he can't begin to take the food. I'm gonna say you will ask. He say no. He can't begin pour juice for inside my salad. Why do?
Yeah,
For
I
waiting.
have a video of it.
For waiting. I don't. And then when the time just.
So I believe Candy, is the picture clearer to you?
Not really. I don't know.
Okay,
I guess no one was trying to explain what was going on, but I really understand what she was saying. I didn't really understand what the kid himself was saying.
Okay, let me explain. That young man is Chidera. From the conversation, you can tell the parents don't live together.
Okay.
So apparently, he wanted some sort of form from the mom. He wanted to fill up a form. So he asked the mom nicely for the form, but the mom was busy. She said like she wanted to do it at her own time, but Chidera wanted it then. So after waiting and waiting, he didn't get it from the mom. He decided to break stuff and destroy stuff. So saying that the guy had become out of control, you can see how large he is. He's no more a little boy. She actually called out for his dad to come and resolve the problem, but the dad kept telling her on the phone that, no, don't touch him, leave him, I'm coming, or he was just giving instructions from the phone. Obviously, the boy wasn't listening to it, wasn't having any of that. Then that guy you saw there is like maybe an uncle or a family friend who was trying to calm him down. Somebody that he's familiar with, that he might have respected and calmed down, but he didn't listen. He went on and on and on and on. So I don't know. How do you? Okay, yeah. Apparently, he had another sibling, but they are living with their mom, not with their dad. So I don't know how you guys want to tackle it, but the show is on. So who do we start with?
Well, all right. The kid is. I don't know why that would trigger him like that, but he's obviously out of control. My first question though, I don't understand why a parent will record their child and put it on social media like that. Like
There was violence occurring, and just in case the cops came in and he was destroying. Remember, he was breaking glass.
Did they have to put it on social media? You record it, and if something happened, you show it to the cops.
Yeah, I'm just giving the explanation for the recording. I don't know who decided to expose it. So,
I don't know. There has to be. I think for a child to get to that kind of for a child well, I guess it's not I don't know, how old is he? Do we know how old he is?
It looks 15, 16-ish.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's still a teenager. He's a big teenager. Um, well, for a teenager to act in
Almost.
such
Oh,
a
yeah, you're right. I think it's almost as tall as the Slayer that won the award this
he's
year.
a big
I think they're
teenager.
almost the same height. I mean,
I don't know,
with
but
the
he's a big
Slayer. Okay,
teenager.
well, it's tall. It's tall, almost like the Slayer. Anyway,
Uh, I think for him to get that out of control, parents have not been doing something right from the very beginning. That's all I can think about. Although I can say that some children are just out of control. I don't know. It could be, who knows what kind of issues he might have, what kind of family dynamics they have. So it's really hard to say, but that's just
you
out of
didn't notice
control.
any. Okay, you didn't hear much of what the mom was saying in the background the whole time.
No, I didn't
Like,
really understand what she was saying.
ah, okay, sign up for my pidgin broken English classes on Saturday. I'll take you by maybe 4 o'clock. Just sign
Okay,
up for it.
okay,
It's just $500. It's just a
okay.
refresher
All
course.
right.
I
I
know
need
you speak Yoruba very well, but I can brush up your pidgin. So
okay.
anyway, happy fast. The social worker slash the lover of peace slash the identifier of symptoms and the protector of the world. Please
All these
give us the.
Before I be sister, I just want to say I think something is broken somewhere. Something. No child in their right that's
Something you think something
healthy
is broken.
mentally. Yes, I think there's something broken somewhere.
I will tell you what's broken when the time comes. It
Okay.
was all over there. You could see the brokenness there. I'll tell you
we
what's
we
broken. But let
will
Abby
start,
come up.
will start by the fact that we can't be too sure on these things.
Mm-hmm.
Make
Hmm.
assumptions,
Hmm.
we can guess the situation, but I would
Hmm.
look at it from the fact that there is love missing. And
Hmm.
why I mentioned that word was that the uncle or the neighbor was saying, "We love you."
Hmm.
From that point, it shows there is love missing in the mix. Okay.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
and as African parents, particularly religious people, we tend to be very strict with rules. This is what we want. This is how it has to be done. This is what and I don't know, maybe it's this video or maybe it's another video. I think there was a particular video that looks similar like this, where the mom was saying the child has to pray. If she doesn't pray, if the child does not pray, then the mom is not going to do what I can't remember. Maybe it's the same video or it's a different video.
No, it's actually I wanted to play, but I wanted us to first get okay. Finish. Let everybody go through with this because it all ties in. It all ties in with the kind of parenting structure we have these days.
And as much as we are going to say just parenting structure, this thing stems from when the child was probably young, whatever dynamics that they are playing in their house, the kind of child the child is. So, in a way, no one cap fits it all. I know the only way that African parents do treat this kind of issue is that you have not been beating this child enough. You have the only training that most African, and I'm sorry, I don't want to generalize, but the most training that we know is that beat the child. By the time you beat the child and the training is getting to the child's head, the child will behave. And that's false because even at that, some people will graduate from that, become adults, and they are broken. But because we don't tend to see the other side of the brokenness, forget it. People look at you like this, they smile, they do every other thing, but inside of them, they are broken. I can't wait for the day when people want to get married and we start adding mental evaluation to be
Mm.
sure that this person is not suffering from any mental disorder. And as an adult, because of these things that we do now, that like, oh, it's corporal punishment, is this, is that, we can have a conversation. Do you know when that uncle was talking to him, even though the mom said, don't go, don't let him hurt you, don't let him hurt you, he didn't hurt that uncle. He didn't listen totally, but it was a bit calmer. It
So you
wasn't.
said sorry. You said everybody that was corporal that got corporal punishment is broken. somehow.
See, I wouldn't use, see, most people have an after effect.
Okay, so okay, not broken. Everybody that received corporal punishment have an afterburner effect, right?
After effect. You might not know,
I,
you may have it gone self.
I'm
You
not arguing with you. I just want to notate it.
want to write it down,
Because,
write it down, write it
okay,
down. So
every corporal punishment. Okay, after.
no,
Okay, continue. Continue.
see, Ron, you see this thing, what we are looking at is that it's not just about this singular case. We are also looking how we can become better as individuals, as parents. And whatever we do today is not just about today. We can discipline a child. We can do something else to a child. But beating someone like a criminal doesn't help anyone. That is what I am saying. You can punish a child, you can discipline a child, but there should be, when is a child, there should be an appropriate punishment that goes, and you know what is appropriate. You know it. You don't
Wait,
need to
sorry.
know. Your
Sorry, I want to
children
put
are
this.
here. You can't just look at them now and just be slapping them anyhow. If you're
Okay.
slapping them today, they get married, their husband is slapping them. What's the difference?
Sorry, I want to put the second one. Everyone who administers corporal
I'm not
punishment.
listening to this wrong. Let me just say what I want to say, please.
I'm not disturbing you. I'm
Yeah,
just
but
saying that every parent who administers corporal punishment treats their child like criminals, right?
oh, Ron.
Is that what
All
I got?
I'm saying is that the
That's not
more
what she's saying.
did you hear? Did you hear what? Did you hear what I
Start
said?
beating. Some people beat their children like you're beating a criminal, and there are people don't do that. Don't pretend like you don't see people beat the shit out of a small child. I mean,
Okay,
when
no
someone is
problem.
saying you can slap a baby, what is that?
Okay. Yeah, continue. I'm just taking notes so that I don't mistake you.
So the whole point of this thing is, in my opinion, like Andy said, something is broken, and we can only make assumption based on what the uncle said. I think love is missing. I think the child needs to be. They have to kind of re-emphasize. You can say most parents say that. Me, I don't hear that often when I was growing up. My parents don't repeat, "I love you, I love you." They don't. They don't. They do say it once in a while. Maybe when I get a good score and I come back. Or
So the only way to reassure a child that the child is loved is by wording it out and saying,
it's not
"I
just
love
by
you."
love, it's part of it. It's
Part of it.
positive reinforcement. It's part of it. You don't need to wait for the child to do to do something bad. It's not only when the child does something bad that you talk about it. You have to also re-emphasize it when the child is just normal, like just a kind of assurance to know that, okay, my parents do love me. You show them love by other things, but talking about it is also very paramount. I don't know why the uncle was re-emphasizing that, to say we love you. If that child has been told they love him, and I'm just going to play a scenario, and I stand to be corrected because anything could have happened. What if the child was talking to the mom and the mom was ignoring, and that's how the mom does every single time, and the child was just like, "No, I've had enough of this," and all of that. And it could also be the other way, that the dad,
Okay, so let me, before I like taking points. So because he was ignored, it gives him the leverage to behave like a lunatic.
even the Bible that we normally like to quote in most times like this, it said, "Don't provoke your child."
Okay,
I'm not
so
sure why you said that.
okay, no, don't provoke the child. Okay.
I'm not sure why the Bible said that. Maybe it's not paraphrased that way, but
I'm not here. Don't change your statement. I'm not forcing you to change your statement.
I'm not changing.
I'm taking,
I'm not saying. I'm not saying
that,
run.
thou shalt not provoke.
You're not there. We can only make assumption.
And that child looks like somebody that is not loved, Abby. Thou shalt not
We can't
provoke.
tell, but the uncle was re-emphasizing that information.
By your own opinion, by your own feeling, your own opinion, what do you think?
No, Ron, you can't be doing question and answer, because this is not like guess Abby and Ron interviewing each other. I'm just saying what I feel based on the
Am
video.
I fighting with you? Am I fighting?
I'm just explaining what I saw.
I'm not cheating you. I'm writing it down. I'm not cheating. I'm being nice. You should appreciate my
I don't need niceness.
Sometimes nice cities they flow from me just when you don't expect it. I can be nice.
Remember the person that you're talking to. I don't need any niceness.
No problem. Have you finished?
Yeah. Before you start twisting everything again, so I'd rather just talk.
So you didn't answer the last question. From what you saw, does that child look like forget about what the guy said, forget about what the mom said. from your own lay observation, not professional observation, lay observation, does that child look like a child that is loved or not loved? Just
You never can
observation.
tell. You can't tell somebody what somebody looks like or what they are feeling or how
Okay,
they are
okay.
feeling by looking
Fair
at.
enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, Mr. H. Let's see if we can get somewhere. We can. Let's hope you're on your good side today, where you drop something that will help the society, and not things that will make Abenge, the Wonder Queen, happy. So your statement should correspond with saving the world today. So let's hear what you have to say about that video.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Wherever you are, good day. My own take on the matter is that, you know, there are some children, no matter how many resources you put in them, it will not help anything.
Sorry, Ron, can you, sorry to interrupt you, Mr. H. Ron, can you send me the video? I'll go watch it and then I'll come back so that you guys don't have to play it again.
Wait, you know what? Because of Candy and Ifeanyi, just 1 second. I don't need to play the whole video. It's just
no. I've seen the video. That's a very old video.
No, for her sake, I don't need to play the whole thing. Just 2 minutes is fine. Hold on.
The thing is, I think you should send it to her to watch. It's actually
it's too large. I tried sending it to her Instagram. It's too large.
Just send her a link of it.
It's not the forum.
Is it not?
All right, don't worry. I'll pick up from what you guys are saying then.
Okay. So okay, no, let me just do 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Just to see.
Okay.
I want it to be a fair and balanced observation. That's why I'm doing this. It's not because, and I don't want to preempt somebody.
Chidera. Mana, what's happening?
What happened? I just did because since they ignore me, they go, they come back. You understand? So this Sunday, you just come. When passport, by the way, you just come. I they eat in the afternoon. As usual, I call and say, come up to do but you don't come. I leave them. I finish our prayer. The mass what they do. So he can't come. He need my P21. He need my my passport. He need he just needs some few things. I know even talk. I know even answer. You understand?
Baby, one want to talk to you.
You understand?
Can you stop right now?
Baby, come. Baby, come.
I'll go there. Don't go there.
Baby, come. Leave
No, I don't come. Something.
Come by that say, leave on.
Don't go there, may not go enjoy yourself. Not go there because broken things they are not good there.
You understand? So when he can't come my room, say when I give him, I don't know I don't go give him. He can't go carry my stuff for my room. They begin the
what did you want there for?
P21.
What do you want use P21 for?
He said he want to apply for his school thing for
what?
For UCD. Says UCD.
What do you want use? You don't need your district for your.
I don't even answer him. He can't come for room. One time he say make I give him the passport. You understand? So when I come tell and say, you know what? Call your dad. Your passport is already expired. Your dad, call your dad. Because your dad, in Papa say make me and I no go physical. I need to make I tell him make he call him. I come and say, call your dad. You can't say if I don't give him must. I can't go in the room because I know what that door where they take my things. Go upstairs, go see how he scatter my things. He can't carry the bag where they put documents. They look for it. I say, why will you take my stuff without asking me? He say, why are they ignorant since? Are they ignorant since? Are they ignorant since? So now you go talk myself from there. Say I must give up. Now your own.
It's okay, Ron. I've got
now
the
your own. I just ignore.
Thank you.
So okay, so at least you can get something from there. But
yeah.
So Hamza, finish your train of.
Yeah, like I said, some children, no matter how many resources you put in them, it can't change anything about them because that is who they are, you know. And as I would say in that video, that child needs to, the parents need to use wisdom with that kind of a child, because trying to cool him down and talking smooth with him, I'm going to give you something nice if you stop, it won't change anything. He's still going to do that same thing in future. and it's probably going to be worse, maybe even kill the parents. So that kind of child is a child that you need to use wisdom for, because some people, some children, when they get to that age, that's an adolescent age, and they mix around in the society, in the community, in their school, they pick up a lot of things. And some kids, they keep the bad things to themselves. Like, okay, let us beat somebody up, let us rob somebody on the street, let us do this. And no matter how many resources you put in them, it will not change them. It will just even make them worse. So what you need to do with those kind of kids
Sorry, for the
is
viewers,
to,
when you say resources, what are you talking about?
you said what?
When you say resources, what are you talking about?
The resources is if you give them everything you want, everything they want, they're still going to be the same kind of people they are.
Okay, then
They
good.
are kids like that, and they are human
I
beings like
agree
that.
with you.
It
It's
doesn't
true.
matter if you give them heaven and earth, they're going to still remain who exactly they are. So this kind of thing, you need to use wisdom with them. You need to have a way of how you corner them. You can't, this kind of child, you can't corner them with violence or from violence. See, you're going to beat him up. You're just wasting your time, or you're going to deprive him of something.
Sorry, what about the foundation of the child growing up? What do you think happens?
Yes,
That's where the problem is.
yeah, that's a
It's
good
already
point.
done. He's made. He's a done
No,
meat
no,
already.
wait. I'll give you an example. There is a friend of mine. There's a friend of mine. He has 3 girls, and I used to go to their house. And the way he trained those girls, if he looks them in the eyes, they know what they're doing is not right, and they will sit down. And one day he said to me, he said to one of those girls, he said, the way he said one of the girls was misbehaving in the house. He said to the girls, he said to the other daughters, he said, look, go and talk to your sister, because by the time I finish with your sister, you both of you will cry with your sister, you know. So what I'm saying is that sometimes the foundation could be rough, and sometimes you can bring your child up in a very good foundation. But when they get out there, you don't know who they are mixing with. You don't know what they do in school. You are not there 24 hours to monitor them. When they go out there on the street or in the community, they begin to pick up some little things. And sometimes you can't change them. It only takes the grace of God. And let me give you an example. There is one person I used to know. You know, this guy is a very, very good guy. Very, very good guy. And I spoke to him in prison. When I got to prison, I always speak to him like, why do you do it? Why are you always here in prison? And he told me, like, his father is rich, his mother is rich, and they provide everything for him. They bought him a car. His father is working in a belting company and is the manager, and he's doing fantastic work. But you can see that upon the resources they're giving to this guy, he still doesn't want to change. Just like that, he was just behaving like that same guy he was behaving like, and he kept on stealing and doing whatever he was doing.
Okay,
And
I think I understand what you mean by resources. That's like
yeah,
spoiling the child, giving the child what the child wants.
yeah.
You do realize that is bad parenting 101.
No,
Giving
that's
your
look. It's
children what
look.
they
Let
want.
me. Ron. It's not bad parenting if you give your child what they deserve. Sometimes you can reward a child for
I
getting
didn't say
for
I didn't say what they deserve. I didn't say what they
Want.
yes,
deserve.
what
What
they want.
they want. I didn't say what they deserve. I didn't say
Yeah.
basic amenities. I didn't say
Mm.
what a parent is supposed. Like what I'm coming at is what they want is bad parenting to give your children what
Mm.
they want.
Yeah,
True.
what I'm saying to you is that what I'm saying to you is not it's not about being bad parenting or giving a child what they want, or maybe just spoiling the child what they want. Sometimes some parents could have everything, and sometimes you could be spoiling a child, you don't know you're spoiling them.
It falls
You
under
know,
bad parenting.
yes, you go to a house and you see a child playing, having a PS5 at their age, and you begin to wonder, at this age, is this child supposed to have this kind of game or this kind of luxury? And the
It's still
parents may not
called
see
bad.
that as bad.
It's called bad
Ron, wait,
parenting now.
Ron, wait. So what I'm saying is that this kind of a child, the parents need to use wisdom to tackle that child, because the way I see him is very aggressive. You can't see you want to go and beat him up or you want to deprive him of something. And as I'm telling you about this guy that I told you I met in prison, and I asked him, why are you always doing this? Why are you always in the prison? Why are you always doing this? And he is somebody that is just like that boy. He has everything. He behaves like that. And, the parents tried to talk him down like the way they were talking him down, and he wouldn't listen. And you know what he did? He went one day to the train station and he got a gun and he wanted to rob the train driver in Cape Town here. This happened in Cape Town here. And before then, he gave me his mother's number. He said, I must call his mother, anytime that he's out of prison, so that I can probably meet him and mentor him and pray with him and talk to him. I said, okay, no problem. I'll do that. So one day I just pick up the after some time, I just pick up the phone. I just called the mother. I said, look, I want to speak to your son. And you know what the mother told me that Sunday that I called the mother? He said, oh, your mother had been talking about you. My son has been talking about you to me, that you always talk to him, pray with him. He died yesterday.
Tragic.
He was shot dead yesterday because he went to rob a train driver and the train driver shot him in the train in Cape Town. So that is what I'm telling you. Some of these children, you need to use wisdom with them or they will end up that way. So this kind of child, the parents shouldn't beat him or arrest him because you're just putting yourself into more trouble. All you need to do is wisdom. And you need to call a lot of people to at least use wisdom in tackling this kind of issue. That's my take on the matter.
Thanks very much. Really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Okay. So I think the next person is Candy, right? Oh, Candy has spoken, right?
Has Candy spoken? I spoke briefly, yeah.
Okay, you don't want to touch on it anymore. Yeah.
No, let everybody else talk.
Okay. So I think Buki and Ifeanyi, who came first?
Ifeanyi.
Ifeanyi.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Come up now. We know they see you.
No, they come. They try boot my brain. Sorry, I'm having a bit of a. I took a run yesterday, and by the time I came back, I think I caught something. So my body is reacting to it. I'm not sure exactly what it is. So I'm trying to reset myself. That being said, where I want to start from, I find trouble. Let me fight with Happy Fast first. This has nothing to do with corporal punishment. Throw it out of the door. Throw it away. That child, corporal punishment don't even come close to this situation. Wait, I'll tell you.
The conversation was coming from somewhere. So don't just jump into it. If there was a reason why you use the word corporal punishment.
Like I said, I want to fight you. I'll fight you. There's no problem. We'll make up later on. And make up.
Yeah.
I was about to say. I was about to say one.
Where the fight frames that you use?
I was about to say 18. I was about to say a word that's 18 and above. Sorry, let's leave it for bedroom talk when we, make up when we are fighting. It's okay. What I was saying is this. What I was heading to, that I say it has nothing to do with corporal punishment. It's not to say what you say about corporal punishment is wrong. No, that's not what I was heading to. What I was heading to is simple. If this foundation has been faulty, we are going to have this escalate to this point. A child is like a cell phone. We come out with the version we have. The best way to treat a cell phone is speaking like a new cell phone. Learn the features, but remember that the cell phone is used to communicate, to make calls, to send text. It still has primary functions. In other words, there are certain things about children that you must learn. Learn your own cell phone. That's why I like what Mr. H was saying, and then you know what to apply to it. A lot of times, there's this very big drive towards so many adults are broken because of corporal punishment. And to be honest, I agree with you people, but I realize that in that data, if I said it in 76, it will be correct. If I say it in 86, it will be correct. If I start saying it in 96, you see the people telling you that we don't stop to beat our children since so. They say in 2000, wait, hold on. They say they don't stop to beat our children since so. Now, why I'm saying this is this. If you put it in Africa, I'll tell you plain, they still beat children. Let us look at the environment. Since we're looking at that video, let's look at where the child is. Where is that child? Do you think if they had beaten that child several times, he wouldn't have reported? Take it further. We now know he's in a country whereby definitely if you touch him, that's why if you notice, they told you they had called the gendarmes. I was trying to listen to that video. I think I've had it before. They're trying to call that somebody, that social welfare cops, and they tried calling the father that they were coming. That's what one people said there. If you look at it like this, it boils down to one thing. You got it spot on that the child needs love. But we've come to the part in this world where we've forgotten that love means time, means discipline, means a plethora of things. I'm sitting in a house right now where, how do you call it? Screen time has been limited to 2 hours a day. Adults plus children, including myself. Let me just tell you, just so that these kids can understand that we don't need the screen to grow. We're all making that sacrifice and it's in love. The child is going to be angry. I know she'll be angry. But this thing has to do with what kind of discipline existed. Now, I'm not talking about discipline for only the child. Children mirror what we have. What kind of discipline do you even have as a parent itself? Because you can't give what you don't have. But it boils down to one thing. There was no discipline whatsoever. You were right about one thing. When the uncle came, he calmed down, listened to the uncle, and continued what he was doing. The thing about children is simply this. If I have done this before and you did not nip it in the bud when I was younger, I will try it again. If you don't nip it in the bud, I will try it again. If once I try it again, you don't talk about it, I'll try it again. Guess what starts to happen? I start to build a set of rules that tells me that my behavior is acceptable. If that child is above 13, in fact, above 11, and you tell me that was his behavior, it tells me you don't have the value of money. You don't know the value of money. You don't know the value of respect. You don't know the value of things, of stuff. What you just want, what you want. At that point in time, I'm not dealing with that I was beaten. That's why I'm like this. That's an excuse. I'm dealing with that I did something. I'm dealing with just what you did then. Could that have been nipped in the bud? That's where I will see bad parenting came in. You could have nipped that thing in the bud a long time ago. Now, nipping it in the bud is not slapping or flogging or doing that. It's not. It's just knowing that sometimes enforcing love is equal to discipline. It's simple. If you had done this before, you don't get that. There are several ways you get to this child. But at this point we're talking, you've gone beyond. If police is to come there, you think they will arrest him as a child? Yes, they will charge him as a juvenile, but trust me, you're going in handcuffs, they're taking you away, you're causing a whole lot of problems, and you start to have a record. God bless you, you're in a Western country where the color of your skin is being used to judge you on some level. What happens? Let's go down the hill. No matter how much I tell you I love you, we're going down the hill. That's to say, that's why I said, take away corporal punishment. My point generally was, for me, when I looked at the thing, I was just wondering in my mind, where is discipline here? Where did he get missing? Not even from the child, not how he's feeling. Where did he get discipline since? I used to tell people something. When I was growing up, my mom used to say something about storm and norm. You are allowed to storm in my house. You see what he's doing, Abi? You want to do it, do it. You want to break everything, break everything. But she'll tell you something. You see that same energy you used to storm and break all those things, right? You owe every single person, both an apology to clean it up, to change it, to bring it back to the state where we started arguing. Half the time when I'm about to do that, and then the second thing they'll teach you is you can dissent respectfully. You can disagree respectfully. It's your responsibility, your responsibility. And at that point in time, that's what's broken up. That's what I'm looking at that video. So I'm not even looking at whether he was beaten and that's his state of mind. No, because he mentioned it simple. This thing is as a result of it happened before. I can't tell what has happened before, but it has happened before. And if it happened before, this guy has copied it. This guy has felt it is normal. It is my right to do this.
On it.
And that's it. And now what we're seeing playing out is something that I've tested it. I've tried. It's like children and candle. We know that story, and it happens to most of us. You see a candle, you just want to touch it. They've told you it's going to burn you, you want to touch it. They told you it will burn you, you touch it. Older people will tell you, leave him, let him touch it. Then you touch it once, you never touch it again. That's what it is. There's just that missing discipline is gone. Who is it gone from? I have no idea. I've watched this video before. I'll come back to it, but that's my basic thing on this one.
Okay, thank you very much. That was a little bit concise.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Abby.
Hello.
Hi.
Abby,
I apologize for joining late.
Abby, now you shake hair like this. Jesus.
It was not funny. It's not. I mean, last week I couldn't join you at all because I was very unwell. This week I was actually doing live at work, and then the entire system collapsed on me. And the show is tomorrow, so I had to stay in. So when I came in, I put my bag down and I said, "Let me sit down, and just drink something." And I actually fell asleep. I fell asleep for about 10 minutes, and then I was like, whoa, she came and joined. So I just want to apologize. So please, what's the video that we are talking about? Because I'm hearing everyone talk about the video, but I haven't seen it.
Check it on the Mongolo group privately, because we can't play it the third time again. It's on the Mongolo group. I think
it's been played twice.
Yeah, Oga Kayode was the one who shared it. So okay, let's quickly run to Buki so that.
Well, can you just give me like a headlines of what it was? Is it the one of the boy throwing all the things on the floor?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So Buki.
Hi, Candy. Nice to see you after all this time.
She was here last week.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, Buki, let's hear your own view.
Good evening, everyone. Do we have an idea how old he is?
He looks 15.
A teenager.
He's a teenager.
He will be 16, 17, thereabout.
Well, the first thing that came to my mind watching that was, a child that's in control of the parent. Manipulation was what I was receiving from the video. I think African parents that come over to the West and raise kids, where in Africa corporal punishment has been the only form of discipline that they've really, been using. When they come over here and encounter a society that doesn't accept that, there's no backup plan on how to raise the children. And now let's couple the environment of the West, the external environment, the education in schools, the empowering of the child. The child is greatly empowered in the West, Your parents not allowed to do this to your parents. Not. So perhaps that's why we have this kind of situation where a child has understood their environment better than the parent, and has now got the upper hand in I would agree with you, Fine, that everything is about the foundation. With children, everything is about the foundation. And yes, Mr. H is right in that there are some children, it doesn't matter what you do for them, but those sorts of children are not the majority in our society. But the majority of children, how they turn out is based on the foundation that is put in, from the beginning. And this spare not the rod and spoil the child thing isn't, Black people tend to interpret that as being corporal punishment, physical, correction. And there's many ways to not spare the rod, to spoil the child. And it's, for me, it's more about the reiteration of the discipline, whether it's time out, be consistent with that time out. Don't shift, don't change from it. That's more effective, taking away the things that they want. So with my situation, and another thing as well, Africans are ashamed of embarrassment when they're outside in the West. And I had a situation where my daughter, at the age of, how old was she? Maybe 6 or 7, decided that because I wasn't going to buy her what she wanted in the shop, that she wanted to throw a tantrum. She threw on the floor. I forgot my English went out. my hair wasn't looking right anyway. So I was kind of like looking good for the madness that I was going to display. And I did display it. I said, are you all right? You want me to go mad in this place with all these people? She started seeing that, okay, she wasn't going to get the upper hand in this situation. And that was the end of it. She came and she, but I was shouting all the way out the store. I knew everybody was looking at me. I knew the situation was embarrassing, but what was more important to me was that my child did not know how to manipulate me outside in public. And the second time she tried such a thing, she'd come home from school and they'd had that education where, your parent is not allowed to hit you. She came home and she was telling me, oh, Mum, you're not allowed to hit me. The teachers told me at school that you're not allowed to hit me, and that she can leave whenever she wants to if I dare raise my voice. And I got angry with her. And after getting angry with her, I packed her bags, and I took her to the social services office, and I said, okay, so this is where you want to be. This is the people that you want to deal with. I'm gonna, I left her there and I went round the corner, but I left her there. So for me, I don't have the strength for physical punishment anyway. I've got sons, big strapping sons. So it's a mind game with these children in this generation and in this culture. African parents haven't adapted. They don't have a plan B for how to raise their kids in a Western society. And perhaps I feel that this is why this kind of situation happens, because that boy was in control of that house. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he was taking the living piss in there. And the thing is, the adults were afraid of him. It just, yeah.
You're right, Buki.
Yeah, Bookie, I think you totally hit it on the head. It's funny you said you told a story about your kids, and I always joke, even on Facebook, I'm like, Kennedy forgets that she has a Niger mama. Like, because she knows I don't
I
play.
see the way you look at Kennedy. Stop
It
that,
doesn't
Kennedy.
even matter. We're out in public. No, you're not gonna act out and think you're gonna get away. I don't care who's looking at me. You're not going to act out and get away with it. And you're right. And I've never thought about it like that before, but you totally hit it in the head, because we're so used to the hitting that we don't have a backup plan. We don't know any other form of discipline. And now it just hit me that you're absolutely right about that. And it's a shame, because they're just I feel more effective ways of disciplining a child than hitting a child. And like you said, that child has just, like I said, something is broken. So and it started, like if I said, it started from way before now, because there's no way a child with a good foundation would be doing something like that. No matter what you think your parent has. I mean, how many times that Kennedy will sulk here? Like, yeah, you can sulk, you can cry, you can do whatever you want, but this not gonna happen. And but she would never in her mind, even at 6 years old, she knows that if she should try something like that, there'll be hell to pay. So yeah, definitely.
And I see it in Candy's eyes.
I'm sorry to share quickly. And now that Buki shared a story, I think I'm just inspired to share one.
When we get to your turn, you share the story. Wait, let's Candy.
Oh.
No, it's okay. I'm done. I'm done.
Wait.
Let her. Ron, let her share
Her fans are really ready to suck up.
Ron, let her share a story, please.
Ron, let her
Done. Let Abby say her story.
Ron just wants.
You just want to think about it. Don't worry. I know how to get you. Don't worry.
Happy fine. Go on.
Ron is looking for
The story is about my daughter. So she had a fight in school. She's in high school. So she had a fight in school. And they called me. And they said, oh, your daughter has a fight with someone in school. And she wasn't at fault. But the problem, this is the way they reported it to me. She wasn't the one at fault, but because she raised her hand, she's also going to be in trouble. Now, imagine the Africanness inside of me calling me that my own child fights in school. My head was turning. I was looking at the time. This was around 1 o'clock. I'm going to finish at 5. And I'm like, I can't wait to get home. I'm going to. But somehow, something just said, you know what, just calm down. Get home, ask her what happened. And I did ask her what happened. And when she told me the story, the African, and I'm trying to use African because I'm used to the fact that my own child cannot embarrass me outside. It's not possible. The child that I've trained well, this kind of thing. And then I go home and I asked her, what really happened? She told me the exact story. And what I could see in play was Oyinbo, racist, blah, blah, and all of those things in play, right? So when I got the whole picture of what happened, and I told her, I said, this person might still come back. I said, what you have not learned, and I'm not sure this is going to happen. That's why I didn't share this with you, because I share information as their age progresses. So I said, there is a way. One thing you need to learn is your reporting skills. Somebody did something to you, you're not going to go there and be fighting. You're going to go and report. Make sure everything that happened you can recount. Make sure there are people there that can tell you a story. And she was like, Mommy, but I said, that is what you need to do. Now, I was going to school, dropping out the next day, telling her, so she was going to get punished for that. The fact that she raised her hand on the person. The person is going to get punished, but she's going to get punished as well. So what they do is they put them in the class where they kind of expect them to have a reflection of whatever has happened. And so the next day, I said to her when she was going to school, I said, make sure you remember everything that I've said. Don't fight. If someone comes to you, look for your trouble. Make sure you watch. When the person is doing it, don't even try to kind of resist. I know it's painful. I know it's annoying, but don't do anything silly. And guess what? The child tried it the next day again. The child was eventually expelled. But what am I saying is, I could have beat hell out of her and say that, oh, my child, rather than facing the real issue, for her to understand if she finds herself in that kind of situation, what she's going to do in the future. And she would be thinking in my mind, my mom is not listening. It's not my fault, but I'm not listening. Did you see what I was trying to share? So sometimes it's also the pride. But I felt really bad when they reported that she was fighting in school. I don't know. Maybe other people would know, but I felt really like, oh, I have to swallow that, that ego that, okay, she's 4. Children do fight. They can do this. It could be arguments and all of that. And then look for better way to solve that issue. That's all I want to say.
Thank you very much for bringing an issue that is almost related to the discussion. We really
Thank
appreciate
you,
it.
Ron, for reminding me there's not.
I beg you, the
Ron,
one
what
that
is it with you tonight?
I got it.
I know she'll fight me after the show. So I beg you, the Wonder Queen. This one that you're doing face like fried potato. What's your name?
Hey, God. Did you want to insult me before?
This is what he's been doing. No, don't worry.
I said, okay.
No, that's why I
This one
thought
that
that
you're
was watching
shining.
what he was doing. That
Okay,
at least
sorry.
let me see how he is conducting the show in my absence. Let me see how he does the work.
Oh yeah,
But you me on top of it.
Sorry.
Let me practice my reporting skills. Ron is a terrorist.
I can imagine. I can
what
imagine.
Did I do wrong? Wait, how did I attack you? Did I not keep a note of what you said?
You've been attacking me since.
They said
Okay, settle down, kids. Mommy's here now. Honestly, you guys are doing amazing stuff. One thing is, no matter what happens in my day, whether I can make it to the show or not, I'm always so confident that you guys will always come in and smash it. And that's why I always say to you, this show is not about me, even though it says Abby and friends. It's really about the friends, because you guys come in and you smash it every time. Now, going to the topic, because I've actually seen that video. That video is actually an old video. Mm-hmm. And if I remember very well, what happened eventually was the boy's dad came home, and they were like, you know what, enough is enough. We think that you can do whatever you want, because he wanted something and he was upset. And if he wasn't going to get it, then he was going to destroy everything. That was his determination. And his father came and took him back to Nigeria. That's
nice.
Since you think that you can do whatever you want here and everything.
Shouldn't have allowed that to talk. Oh God. I was just,
you shouldn't have allowed me to talk on my own show.
No. Before you said what you said, Abby, That was what was on my mind. I was just patient. I allowed everybody to dance around the issue. I just wanted to go straight to the point. Ah, and I'm happy you brought it up. Continue, continue.
So, anyways, the father just arranged for him and everything to be returned back to Nigeria. The father went back to Nigeria with him and
See,
said, "Well, since you
this is
think
where
that."
Abby and Ron agreed on something, and they even shook hands. We need to
On the
play.
same
What's the
floor.
name of that trumpet?
On
Somebody
the
should play
same.
trumpet for us.
It's
It
not
never
going to.
happened.
It's not going
Jesus,
to last. Shebi is
hey,
wrong. It is not
What
going
God,
to
happened?
last.
Wait,
It's not
what did
going
you
to last.
say?
You should do hell like this. You should do the hell. You know that
oh, well,
hell that you have to do.
it's coming after the show. A big
If
one.
I,
They
what did you
agreed
say?
on it. Jesus, you and Abby agreed. You even had a civil conversation. You even had a civil conversation where you handed over the baton easily. Okay, continue. Ah, amen. Thank you, God.
Okay, no wahala.
Miracles do.
Continue,
So,
continue.
anyways, I don't know whether he's been brought back, but because he's been, according to what I remember about the story, the boy had been acting up several times. They had tried everything. The pastor had gotten involved. Those people that they had brought in also to talk to him, they had spoken to him. Everybody had tried to like get him to calm down and just be like, what is it that you want? Because most of the time the father was away, going to work. He wasn't always in the house. So he was very much a telephone dad. Daddy would talk on the phone and be like, okay, don't do this to your mom, blah 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 blah
He
blah.
lives in the
And
house. He lives in that
they,
house, but he just
yes,
goes
he
to.
lives in the house, but
The other video
those
I
kind of
saw suggested. Okay.
early morning dads does not come home until everybody has fallen asleep, kind of dads, that kind of situation. So it was like, okay, you are being given at least everything that's to make you comfortable. You're being given everything to make your life easy. You have siblings, you're not the only child. And you've now decided that you want to be a terrorist. And it's not just for yourself, but for your siblings, so that they don't think that this behavior is appropriate. That, well, Brother Namdi did it, so we too can do it.
Chidera,
So,
Chidera.
okay, we will nip it in the bud and take you back to Nigeria. Now, I don't know whether he's actually been returned back into the country to his parents, but yes, there was a lot of. I think he even tried to create some kind of noise at the airport that he was being taken, whatever. And I say he's Nigerian. This is his passport. He's going home to his fatherland. So which one is he's being trafficked or whatever? And they took him to Nigeria and left him there. That's
Hmm.
go and from again, because I tried to actually find out when I saw the video, I tried to find out the rest of. From what I understand, it wasn't like, oh, he was sent to Nigeria, then put in one private school to be going to private school to go and be speaking Spanish. No, they sent you to one village school, one village school that he has to walk before he gets there. That say you think that you are mad, you are moving mad. Don't worry, we will set you straight. But not every parent has that luxury. So when a parent can't afford to take a child to Nigeria, can't afford to, go and drop them off with someone, because at the end of the day, in the process of wanting to discipline your kid, you don't want to expose them to something that is going to damage their life forever. You don't want to go and drop them with somebody that's going to end up molesting them or something. So what do you do? So that's the question. I'm a parent of other people's children. But what do? You who are parents of your own kids? Those are the kind of things I think we should also look at.
Are you done?
I stopped talking.
Oh, okay. Can we give Abby a You
Wow,
see,
Ron,
I
what are you
I don't
wanting now?
I really don't know what happened today, but if Abby can be on the right side of the law and morality, and she didn't even enable anything, I think we should call it a day. Is there really a
See,
need for Ron explains?
you
Is
people
there
should
no,
not.
like, really? There's really no need. If Abby could be articulate, concise, and precise about the point she wanted to deliver, and it resonated so well that we all got it in a very steady
You are
frequency.
far up your own
You
jackseed. Can you mmove on? Can you just
can
move
I
on?
After they say I don't give her compliments, I'm giving compliments now. She's knocking me. Okay, don't worry. So
Thank
while
you. This your backhanded compliments.
okay, I
This your
tried.
backhanded
Nobody
compliment.
said.
We are
Nobody
using
will.
her sense for the first time.
You are all welcome to another segment of Ron Explains.
Mm.
Yes. So I was actually boiling to talk, but after listening to our distinguished panelists, I've been forced to forgive Happy Fast for her what indiscretions while saying some certain things in the beginning. So, but I understand that Happy Fast was coming from a very beautiful place, a very place of care and love. Because Abby is actually the queen of love on this show. She knows how to explain love and how to. Anyway, back to the real issue here. The thing
Kyle
is,
said the
what
rabbit is coming out.
no. The thing here is
Kayode is an agbaya.
okay. The thing here, the what we need to drive home, and very importantly, as it relates to the topic today, is these things start from the beginning. If you know you don't want to be beating your children between 10, or you don't want to go through the corporal punishment route, start from when they are 2, 3 years old. Start communicating with them with your eyes. If you know you don't want to go physical. Now, but having said that, we need to also consider that these human beings are not puppies, and they are not what they call them. They are not some other form of creatures. These are intelligent beings, just like you. And if you can wind back the hands in time and see the level of knowledge you had at 5 years old, 6 years old, we tend to like infantilize. What's wrong with?
It's Kayode. Kayode said all my elder brothers and husbands are agbaya. The beautiful thing is I don't even have an elder brother and I don't have husband. He is the only husband I have. So
You are all welcome to another segment of Ron Explains.
Okay, so before I was rudely interrupted. So we need to also consider. Abby, please stop. We need to. So we need to consider that these are intelligent beings in the sense that as parents we need to pay attention to details. No matter how little it is, because I am a very hands-on dad. I try to know when I see things that are not moving right. Okay, sometimes my wife can be. We do good cop, bad cop. Sometimes she could be the sympathetic one. Sometimes I have to be the one calling it. And that's why I was telling Mr. H that your children should not receive everything they want. What they want sometimes is not for their own good. And that's why you're there as a parent. You're there to guide, nurture, teach, and protect them. So if the child wants something that is anemic to his or her development, as a parent, you're supposed to call foul and say, no, it's not going to happen. Sorry, you're not getting this. You're not going there. You're not. I also have a family member that was deported from the UK when he was at that age and he was destructive. He was destroying everything. He, and now, see, two things happened. He had a very horrible time in Nigeria because not only did they take him to Nigeria, they took him to Abakaliki, and that's Ifeanyi's village, or not just Abakaliki itself. They took him to a remote Abakaliki, not where you'll be seeing modernized human beings. They took him to a farm, rural area to go and do boarding house. Like the uncle, my uncle really threatened any of us who bothered to who had the imagination of jumping on a vehicle to go and visit him. That boy saw hell. When I say he saw hell, by the time he was done after 4 years, I had a review. We had a conversation 2 years back, and I was asking him, what does he feel about? He said, he told me something. He said he had a horrible time, but at the same time, he said, had that not happened, that he didn't know what would have become of him. That because he does admit and acknowledge that he was off the handle. Like when I say it was off, he was virtually racking with the dad. It was off the handle. And I say this to say this, Happy. The reason is that anytime we talk about things, anytime we talk about things about corporal punishment, we always run to the extreme and say, that they brutalize one child, blood drew. It's not all corporal punishment that has to draw blood or blister. No. When a proper corporal punishment is administered without emotions, You don't go ahead like a madman. I'll kill you. No, no, no. You don't do that. You remain calm. Because remember, the whole objective is to teach a lesson. And when you're done, if it's 5 strokes or whatever it is you want to do, call the child back. You strike with the right, you bring him back and say, do you know why this happened? No. Okay. You can give, like me when I was growing up, I hated my dad's long speeches. Oh, but he would just start talking till when you think of committing the offense the next time, you just remember that that long talk is going to bore you to death. So you just avoid the trouble altogether. But please don't wait till the child is 10 years old or 9. 9 years old is even too old. I don't know what you want to be teaching a child at 9 years that you didn't teach the child while that child was 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, 6. Then all of a sudden, and something Sister Buki said was is very, very paramount. There are a lot of these Nigerians who leave Nigeria and actually go to the Western. Now, what she said is equation one, the ones that don't know how to have a plan B. They are also the ones that easily get indoctrinated into the system without understanding the dynamics, and they just swallow everything hook, line, and sinker. Oh, these Oyibo people, they don't do this to their children. Oh, so for that reason, you didn't even ask how they do, how they function. You didn't bother to investigate. You just swallow it that Oyibo people don't. I don't know about UK, but here in South Africa. Okay. All right.
No, there's no need to get upset. I just actually wanted to buttress your point. What you're saying now reminds me of two things. Can we remember a lot of our parents when we do something and we come home and we're expecting them to beat us or to do something to us, and they'll be like, "Oh, have you eaten?" No. "Oh, yeah, go and eat." And you'll be looking at your parent like, "Hey, I should go and eat." So yes, go and eat. You go and eat. You are still waiting for the punishment to come or one beating to come, and they're like, have you watched the evening program that you like to watch? Go and watch it. You'll be looking at your parent like, what happened to my parents? Who is this person? You two, you go and see that you'll be watching the program, but with one eye. Oh, it's time to sleep. You go and sleep. Then in the middle of the night, they'll just come because it's as if they just want that anger that is inside of them to first of all calm down so that they can now effectively punish you and not use the rage that might have been there. Then you see that other thing you said about some people coming into the system and swallowing it hook, line, and sinker. There's someone that was my friend. Yeah, this is years back, and pure white, full like blonde, blue eyes, everything. And I went to her house to see her parents, and this girl, she takes that as spoiled, but like I was just with her mom, and her mom said, hey, when she was a teenager, that one day she was talking to her to clean her room. She just slammed the door and said, "Get out of my room!" Bah! She slammed the door. She said she just called her husband. "Please take down the door of the room. Take down the door." That they took down the door of the room. That she was screaming. She said, "Look, let me tell you, if you don't like it, I pay the rent in this house. I allow you to have a room. So if you don't like it, that's the door. Hit it and go and find the parents that is going to give you a room that you'll be shouting nonsense at them because you have a room. The room is mine. If you talk one more thing, even the bed that is there, I will take it. So you sleep on the floor." I was stunned. I was like, So Oyibo people do this with their kids?
I was even
And I
about to
was
go to
like,
this.
wow. So, I was just buttressing your point that people should not be deceived thinking that white people don't discipline their kids. They do.
Thank you for putting butter into my point. At least I'm even going to put more jam on it. There's what Candy said about her daughter acting up, or was it Buki acting up in the store. There was a time this was many years back. I used to think white people truly don't teach their kids, right? This lady, if you see her, she was like this stiff upper lip woman, very classy, like very is her dress as if they ironed her and they dressed together. So it was looking very sharp, neat. The daughter was rolling on the floor. The woman just removed her face. She didn't even look at the child. The child was rolling on the floor, nothing. So after she paid, I don't know how they left. So I thought, end of the story. I said, oh, these Oyibo people now, wow. They parked beside my car. So as I was about to drop in the groceries in my trunk. Guess what? Now dirty slaps are just the same inside the motor. Like the woman was just giving the guy. I was like, oh, me self, I won't call police. Because the way she was, I said, see this gentle, meek woman. She has turned to lion all of a sudden inside the car. Just now. And I see it, and this is a misconception. We always seem, and this is the thing, we always try to learn, we always pick what we assume without getting the full context. There's something we need to understand. All kids are not the same. There are children you are going to have from the day they were born till the day they leave your house. They will never give you a reason to raise your voice. Never. Those children, they just communicate. You communicate with your eyes. They know, they understand. Those children are self-respecting. They don't like insults. They don't want anything that will bring shame to them. They mind their business. But they are really demonic kids that exist. Like when this one came from the devil, you know these children that this one is pure devil. This one that was scattering TV and destroying everything. Like you said, he didn't start it today. He has been doing it in small scales, and he has been improving on the last. Every time he gets away with it, he will improve on it. For every time, and you can see from the way the mom was talking, I picked out something. This, sorry to say, oh, and this is not. She's not enlightened. She's just not enlightened, and I know that she's actually not equipped to handle that child. It's clear because you could see that she expected that. Now, if all of you who watch the video, you could see that she expected that action, and that's why her response was more of like, it has happened before and it's happening again. A mother who is witnessing an abomination will not react the way that woman was reacting. So obviously, this thing has been happening before. It's just that the guy took it up another notch and decided to add a little bit more drama and flair to it. So that's all I saw there. Yeah, you're fine.
I'm just going to address two different things and bring two different perspectives into these things too. I also find that in recent times, it's almost like we do parenting with the urge that we need to be liked by our children.
Mm.
I don't understand. It's almost like the same way society needs to like us when they meet us as a human being. We need our children to like us. The honest truth is, it doesn't work that way. You're given a job to nurture this child, to train this child, to protect this child. In other words, you're given a job to stand as a gap and then as a funnel to what this child can become. You're not given a job to be liked by this child. And there's always the pointer that when the child grows, you want a child that will be calling you. Why is it around you? It's supposed to be about them. So if they're going to put their hand in fire, you stop it. If they're going to do something, you stop it. You mold the child and let it grow. Just give it the nurturing environment and let it grow. But there's this very, especially, and it is not in old parents. I hate to say this. Old parents were much more focused on, are you doing a professional career? That was when they were education driven. But this our feeling, it's our own feeling. It's almost like the child should like me. And then sometimes between couples, you find that it's almost like, okay, would you like your dad or your mom better? Why is that the problem? So that's one. The other part is this: we all talk about corporal punishment. A lot of people reach to flogging. Let me show you people something. I was only given 2 slaps ever in my life. Most of the punishment I got in elementary school. And as much as elementary school looks like, I wasn't flogged so much in elementary school. But here's the interesting thing. I was that guy in military school that knew how to punish you without touching you, and you will beg me for it. My mind, that's why when we say it, and there's this thing of corporal punishment affects children psychologically. The problem is, if I was to do what I did, if people had to tell the story about me in military school, you probably think this guy is a maniac. Because if there was anything that had to do with not flogging anybody, I found out how to punish you with it. And you couldn't report me that I flogged you. I did not. You couldn't report me that I caused physical harm. I did not. But I knew exactly how to make you beg. Now that scared me more. It scared me a whole lot more. So
give us an example, if I.
Okay, God forgive me. I made somebody sit down under a dripping tap. If I do that to you for 1 hour, for 1 minute, it doesn't seem much. After 1 hour, you have the headache of your life. You beg me to flog you. If I release you, you will think about it. If I tell you come here next time, you remember it. There was all those things that you think about. People copy dictionary 27 times because of you. You didn't have to touch him.
Dictionary.
So there are those, how do you call it? There are 1,001 of them. Okay, again, the other thing I realized about military school, there was compound punishment. I tried to look for a definition of it, but you did not see. But compound punishment was used, even in my own house. So it was simple. We're 3 boys. Casey goes and commits a crime. My father comes back. All of you kneel down.
Everybody.
And the question is, I wasn't there. And he will ask you, so why were you not there when he was committing the crime? And then you'll be like, I was there, but I did not do it. Oh, you could have stopped it. But then slowly, because of FMS, you now realize that your action and your decisions could affect the whole group. So therefore, you regulate your action and your decision, however bad it seems. So there are 1,001 ways. These are things that can happen. We should know that there's the other side of it. However, like I said, the one that is in my mind is simple. We were not designed to be. We were designed to understand them, listen to them, nurture them, be nice to them. But please remember, you're an adult. He's a child. You're the parent. They're the children. When they get to 18, and like there's somebody's mentioned it here and said, I give you information as need to know. So as you grow older, I can give you some more information because you can now handle it. So when you do that,
that was from Happy Fast.
You get to one point. But and also, why that is good is that it also lets you know that there's a certain point in time whereby you step back to. Whereby you see this train is going down the railroad to go and crash. You go and wait for it with safety net, should in case the person falls out. But there's nothing you can do again. But it's just important to know that it's not, how do you call them? It's not, they're not there. There's no, it's not, you're not there to be liked. You're there to be loved. That's different too. But you see that they will like me, they will feel, they'll be, and then we mask it on that so that they'll be comfortable and tell me all things. My dear, in fact, there's certain things my dad will tell you, you're not supposed to tell me. You don't get sense if you tell me. Why did you tell me? But there are certain things. It's just the fact that I need you to know that you're getting responsible and you can control, you can regulate, you can actually hold yourself back. Linking it back to this case we're looking at, any child, see, what we're dealing with is on certain levels has become more personal. If he was with a girl and that was his girlfriend and she said no to him, he would do what? His mom is a woman.
Boundaries.
Would he throw that? You have to self-regulate. If you're going to have a relationship, you have to self-regulate. You're throwing things away. You can't deal with anger. Does that mean the world is not waiting for children who are really nice and courteous and polite? They will hit you hard. But if you lose that inability to self-regulate, those are the things there. So my own takeaway for parents is this: be a parent, be nice to them, but remember, you're not here to be liked. You're not here to be best of friends. You're here to be a parent. Later on in life, trust me, later on in life, they'll get to that point where they'll sit down with you and they're talking with you, and they're really talking. They're not just talking as parents. They're talking as, okay, let me see what you think about this. Why? Because you've provided guidance all the way down.
You're very right, Ifeanyi. My dad's my best friend. He was my best friend in the whole wide world. But trust and believe. The last thing I ever wanted to do in my life was cross that man. And people will say, Abby will get away with murder when it comes to her dad. Like my dad, in my entire life, he hit me once and he started to cry because he hit me. Because that he didn't like the idea of touching me at all, because there's some other underlying issues with our relationship that made him not want to touch me in any way, shape, or form. But trust and believe, when that man looks, my dad doesn't have to touch me, his eye, you just look at me like this, and even me, I'll be disappointed in myself. I'll start to cry that how did I do this to disappoint my father? So he was my friend, but the boundary was there.
Speaking of disappointment, I was talking to my brother recently, and we talked about, I don't know if any of you have, I'm sure all of you have it, There are certain adults, older people, that when you come into their presence and you say hello to them, without them asking you, how are you? You tell them all your plans. You tell them how the plan has been going, how everything is going, right? You realize that you're not telling them as your friend. You're almost telling them as your parent. You're almost telling them, okay, I have my things together and this is what I would need. That's what we did. And it's lacking. It's beginning to lack in our generation going forward. And that's where that whole video. Yes, the mom, like Ron said, the mom, everybody has a part to blame and play. But when you're telling me a child is 16 or 17 and your problem is, and no matter what the problem is, you're 16 or 17, in other words, give or take 1 year, you're fending for yourself. The interesting thing about this society, especially the West, is I ask you to be a child from 0 to 18. At 18, I demand you be an adult.
Bam.
That means at 18, or a day after my 18th birthday, if I tell the same lie I told in Disney World and tell it the day after, I'm arrested. What that means is there's definitely something wrong somewhere that we need to correct in terms of how you break it down. That's why punishment, I can't throw it away. Yes, I can tell you, you don't have to flog the person, but there has to be that boundary. Nip it in the bud when it is small. Throw it away. Children try these things. I know. I don't know if you know this, but certain 2 to 5 year olds, they tend to tell you a lie, and then you correct them. They laugh. Hey, I'm just joking. And I see people say, "Oh, you're just joking." Nope, cut it out. You're not joking. You told a lie.
Yeah.
Then they'll try it next time. You're just joking. And they tend to mirror adult conversations. So they'll say, "Oh, really? Literally? Is that what you did?" Just cut it out. And then they tend to have elements of, they're just small things that you're growing. Now, why do I know this? I know very soon somebody will open my door here to come and tell me, "Uncle, what are we doing?" But that's you start to nip it simple in the bud.
You know, when you said that water dripping story, you know what it reminded me of? At the time I was in SS3, you know the way the school changed and they brought in those harsh guys. So when they came in, there was this particular officer, is an air vice marshal now. The guy was always on my case because I was always dodging everything, and he's always the one to catch me. Then he was just a flying officer. So this particular day, he will catch me, he will make me jog maybe 30 kilometers. That's around the school like 5, 6 times. It's very tedious punishment. So one day, it's like the officer had enough. He just called me. He just said, "Follow me to my office." I got to his office, just said, "Sit on the floor." I sat on the floor. And he just left. He took his files, he took his files, he took his paperwork, everything. I made sure I sat near the door and left. I was in that office for 4 hours. Oh, it was trauma. You know why? Because of where he kept me to sit down was close to the door. I was always anticipating who was going to walk through the office and find me in the office and punish me. So it was a psychological warfare the whole time because I just did not know what was going to come through the door. That door never opened. But I was always imagining that somebody terrible could come through the door and like, "Hey, you, what are you doing here?" Then take me to guard room. Or maybe it's a more superior officer and like, okay, we need to deal with him properly. So that's just that tension of just sitting in one. I wasn't doing anything, but I was just calculating who is going to come in. And it worked. Since that day, I changed my ways immediately because I just didn't want to have, and he figured it out. So yeah, corporal punishment, if it must be administered, it mustn't be administered in a madness mentality way. You have to be calm. You have to relax first before you do anything. Don't do anything. Anything you do out of irrationally is called abuse. Full stop. There's no
Yes.
two ways about it. You do anything, you cross the line irrationally, it is simply defined as abuse. But if you can calm down, administer it, and explain it properly, then you might make progress, a little progress. But having said all this, not all kids are the same. Some kids are just off the hook. Not all kids. So who is going to read the comments for us?
Well, since I came in late, let me read them. So can you highlight them out, please?
Okay.
Sorry, Ron. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing, I just wanted to highlight something also too, because I if we're talking about it, then let's be balanced to it. There are also children who have been raised by praise.
Yes.
So in other words, they were praised for every single thing they did.
That's the
We
kid
we,
I told you now.
we
I
try to
mentioned it.
call it positive how do you call
Reward
it?
reward system.
Positive,
I mentioned the
Yes.
kid.
But
something
at the
parenting.
long run, we also have to highlight that get to the point. I don't praise him for cleaning his room. It is his room. It's just something
Yeah.
you have to do. Don't praise him for washing plate. It is plate. You have to wash it. There has to be that point where you start to break off the praise. First time, second time, that's lovely. When it becomes your chore, it's your chore. Do it. So why I say this is because I find out that most children that have been raised by praise. I know what I mean. When life finally hits you hard and for no reason or something you did not put effort in, you fail. They fail badly. They break badly. They break really badly. And once that happens, you can't. All you're trying to praise them. Oh, you did well. You're really good at it. It doesn't work because they get stuck up on where they failed, and that's it.
Okay, so Abby,
Excellent.
keep
Okay,
reading.
so Cheryl Torres said, "Good evening," and then Kayode Atabatele said, "This show don't get fine babes now." Wow, hey God. So Ron is a conductor, Abby. Now lie, it is Abby's show. Ha, Kayode. If I relax, the magician is bringing a rabbit from the hat. They what? This PK, I tire for you. The rabbit is coming out. Abby, all your elder brothers and husbands are Agbaya. You are the only husband I have, so you are the Agbaya. You see yourself. Somebody is tickling Abby in both in egg by me. You see, already he's jealous. You must ensure you have calmed down.
Oh, is it me or is Abby? Okay. Abby, is it? Can everybody hear me?
I can hear you. I think
Okay,
he's the
so it's
one hanging.
Abby. Is
Yes.
Abby hanging, right?
You know.
Okay, so Fash, read.
Okay, I hear you. You haven't changed it. You must ensure.
Yeah, breaking, Abby. Abby Fash, take over. Abby Fash.
This is the reason we love our RSM 40 years after. Ron or if you explain the role of an RSM.
Yep. We'll explain it.
Abby, are you a buttress now? Giving butter to people's points. Okay. As Oyinbo lady.
I don't know what's happening with the internet. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Canada told me she would normally tell them it's time to go to the bathroom when the kids are coming out, their behavior
my mom did that to us.
Parents wanting to be friends. That's kind of their Tobatele.
Two
different opposed roles. Well said, Ifeanyi. That's kind of they're still saying all of that. Since those slaps, you have been growing a beard. A friend that told the air police to gather all his sons and lock them up in the guard room, all for one person's sin. Yeah.
It happened.
He said, "Is the officer an ex-jam?" That's the officer that Ron's talking about.
No, it's not. But it's a regular.
Positive reinforcement. Yeah, that parenting style you were wondering about. Abby is hanging like a hanger. Kayode is on fleek tonight. Shebi, you will come and beg me. My wife, don't vex. Don't worry, continue.
I'm sure he's just chilling with a bottle of something and stepping down.
He's in a happy place. So yeah, that's the last comment right there. So thank you everyone who has commented. Again, I want to say a massive thank you to every single member of the panel. Mr. H, it's so nice to see your lovely face. I'm going to replace you Well, I'm going to replace PK with you because me, I don't understand this kind of romance. There's always yabbing me left, right, and center. But thank you, everyone who's tuned into the show. I'm sure you have learned something. I'm not a physical parent to a child of my own, but I'm parent to other people's kids. But at least I have picked some things from even tonight's show that is going to that I'm going to apply in my life in the future. There are two more comments from Kayode. Says Abby Fash has money, and he said she's the one I'm interested in. Abby, how far with that ticket? You want to marry Abby Fash? It might be for no problem. Continue.
He's
So
on
everyone, thank you so much. We really appreciate you taking out your time because it is you taking your time out of your busy day to come and join us on the show. So a massive thank you to Abby Fash, to Ron, to Mr. H, to Ifeanyi, to Buki, to Candy, to Kayode in the comment section, to Cheryl, all our usual suspects. I don't know what happened; they didn't show up tonight. But thank you to everyone who's been watching, who's been joining us. So till we do this again, same time, same place. And of course, please don't forget the after party. Take care and God bless. Bye.